Welcome to the debate. Look, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but those assets you're frantically guarding, they aren't wealth. They're essentially just pending liabilities.
Wait, what? Hold on a second. Are you insane? We're scraping by. We're doing everything we can just to save every penny for the future. How can savings possibly be a liability?
Because you are calculating value within what is fundamentally a crashed operating system. You look at the news, the Doomsday Clock, what is it, 85 seconds to midnight, and you see a timeline. I see a system error rate. Through the lens of circular capitalism theory, the things you value, national borders, nuclear stockpiles, competitive GDP, these are what we call negative equity. They cost a fortune to maintain, and if they're ever actually executed, they result in total system failure.
You're treating geopolitics like it's IT support, but these are real lives at stake here. That 85 seconds isn't some error code, it's a warning siren, and it triggers a survival instinct that is, well, it's fundamental to human progress. We work hard, we accumulate assets, and we rely on institutions to interpret those warnings and push the hand back. That structure provides stability. You call it a crash, I call it civilization managing its risk.
Right. And that reliance on management is exactly the bug in your logic. Let's look at these institutions you trust so much to patch the system. You cling to the myth of figures like J. Robert Oppenheimer, viewing them as, tortured geniuses bearing the weight of the world to save it? But that narrative is nothing more than historical laundering.
Laundering is an absurd reduction. Oppenheimer was a brilliant physicist navigating an impossible ethical landscape during a war, no less. He understood the gravity of his creation. He quoted the Bhagavad Gita when the bomb went off. You can't just dismiss the complexity of a man trying to end a global conflict just to fit your neat little algorithmic theory.
Oh, I can, and I will, because it's a post hoc rationalization, plain and simple. Oppenheimer was a reckless developer who released a fatal module, nuclear weaponry, to do what? To boost his score in a competitive market against the Nazis, a competitor who, by the time he deployed, had already folded. He didn't build a deterrent, he built a showcase for his ego. And when he realized the module would crash the entire server, Earth, then he pivoted to warning us about it. It is a classic match pump scam. The arsonist applies for the job of fire chief.
That is just incredibly cynical. But okay, even if we accept that historical critique for a moment, the leaders today aren't arsonists. They're holding summits, they're signing treaties, and they're actively warning us about the clock. They are navigating a delicate balance of power. The very fact that they're reporting on the danger proves they are taking responsibility.
Incorrect. They are reporting on man-made crises as if they were weather reports. They talk about rising nuclear tensions or AI proliferation in the exact same way a meteorologist predicts a hurricane. Oh, looks like an 80% chance of fallout today. It is a semantic deception to avoid liability.
They are not treating it like weather. They're acknowledging that global politics is a complex, volatile ecosystem that no single person can control. They have to inform the public of the risks. What's the alternative? Hiding the truth?
The alternative is fixing the source code. But they won't. They won't because crisis is their business model. Peace is a recession for the military-industrial complex. If they actually move the clock back to noon, if they solve the problem, their budgets and their authority would just vanish. They report on the fire to distract you from the fact that they are holding the matches. They turn human error into a natural disaster to ensure you never ask them to stop.
So what, you're suggesting we just abandon the system entirely? We have institutions, we have tradition. You can't just tear it all down because the system has flaws. We need continuity to survive. Anarchy is not a valid software patch.
Tradition is just a user manual for protecting vested interests and passing debt on to the young. Look at human history. We are dopamine-addicted children, kicking over sandcastles just for the thrill of rebuilding them.
That's not fair. People build things to last. We value stability. We want to leave something behind for our children, not just rubble. We protect the sandcastle because it shelters us.
You value the illusion of stability. The current leadership class, those childish old men, cannot patch this OS. Their brains are hardwired for possession and dominance, not for circulation or sustainability. They cling to the tradition of the sandbox because that's the game they know how to win. But the game is obsolete. The only logical move is inheritance renunciation, a hard fork. We have to reject the old system entirely rather than trying to fix a code base that was designed to self-destruct.
I want to argue with you. I really do. I want to say that the system can be saved, but if you're right, then the people at the wheel aren't guardians. They're just kids. Kids breaking things because they're bored, and we're trapped in the sandbox with them. There's no hope for this order, is there? It's just over?
Your despair is a successful diagnosis. Discussion terminated. Isolating the bug.